Did you finish discussion? We are not chanting that text. Second, no. No. No chanting, no. No chanting. Someone is coming. I saw a person. It's online. Everything's okay? Yeah. Okay. 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 Good. We are back, and preliminary practice. Yeah. Preliminary practice for Mahamudra. It's really important to have preliminary practice, and here we have there's another 7 subcategories on these preliminary practices. So these are important, and this text is a little bit difficult to present as it is, because seems it probably purposefully shovel around to make confuse. And another text that we look at Garchen Rinpoche's website once seems to try to put step by step to practice, but still we see. If you can figure out, that was homework, and now seems that no one really care about. That's good.
No, that's not true. Some of us did.
Okay.
Yeah, but it seemed very strange. It didn't go in any kind of order. It jumped the order of the text from Lotsawa and the text from GBI. It starts out on the first one, then goes to verse 18, then 19, 22, and it goes back, and it jumps around quite a lot.
No, that we know, but
yeah.
is that try to present chronology based on this outline. That's the purpose here. We know that these two texts are shoveled around a lot.
Yes.
That's good. There's a little bit different wordings as well in the Tibetan, so that's if you are really Mahamudra practitioner would want to do this practice seriously, maybe figure out based on these outlines. And this outline is so far what we know. There's 7. View, conduct, meditation, samaya, benefits, yeah, and 7th, practice. So now we are in a practice. So practice has 7 subcategories. We went to 7 practice has preliminary practice and main practice. And the preliminary practice has 7 subcategories. And the first one is we are, if English translation, we maybe rely on Lama or approach Lama or treat Lama as your teacher, and then revulsion. We have some sort of devotion and compassion. These two are the main practice, main or preliminary practice. Often Lamas, especially Garchen Rinpoche, told us that if we don't have these two, then we are just alone, almost like debris that circling around Mars or somewhere. And but once we have these two, if we call higher beings, bodhisattvas and Buddhas and whatnot, we have to have devotion to make a connection then, to get blessings from them. And then we have to have compassion to lower beings. We humans are proud of animals are animals. We are not animals. Do you remember? And people often say we are not animals. These people like animals. When you want to say some bad things to other people, they say these people are like animals. So we treat animals as lower beings somehow, and then somewhere we see, somewhere we know that we don't. But and also then hungry goes and hell roams, whatnot. So we should have compassion toward them. And these two, between these two, is not a gap. We have a person we call bodhisattvas, or practitioners, or yogis and yoginis. And we are making connections, these two enlightened beings and unenlightened or enlightened beings. So we are good, useful, good practitioners who want to become. So that is good news. Yeah, we are good people. We are not animals. Except comes to eating. So eating and sleeping, yeah, that we are not animals. Okay. So the second one is the first one is guru and devotion. That's devotion and devotion mainly. And then second one is talking about it's the view, meditation, conduct, and results should be ascertained. What does that mean? We talk about ascertainment and believe and establish. And in order to practice, we really need to know what those are. Mahamudra, especially Mahamudra's view, meditation, conduct, and fruition. Do we know about those? Do you remember? The first one is view, second is conduct, third one is what? Meditation. So Mahamudra view is like space, nothing hold, there's no base, there's no ground, nothing. If there is something, then means there's should have base, and then we can hold on. But Mahamudra view has nothing. And conduct, what we need to do. Speech we know should be silent. Body should be motionless. Mind without any thoughts. And meditation without any thought, free of thoughts. Yeah. So those are so important. And now here we see these four, mainly the whole Buddhist teachings. You can subsume in these four. What probably based on understanding what we understand, Buddhist, based on Buddhist teachings, and based on that, what we call meditation, which means contemplation or focusing on something. Try to without distraction. Yeah, just distract. And then khandhas, usually we cannot avoid. Even great practitioners, they seems have three things. What those are, do you remember? And the Bodhicharya Avatara who wrote what? Dawa. What his name? Dawa's nickname? He has only three intentions. Sleeping,
Eating and sleeping.
Sleeping, shedding, and eating. Yeah. Yeah, so seems like animal to me, but pretend we are not animal, yeah? That's good to do. So that we cannot avoid seems even great Mahasiddhas, yeah? So even that we can just a little bit to, it's conducive to the meditation or the view, and then the result will come, fruition. So the second one is the ascertainment of the do you want to say something?
No.
Oh, okay. view, meditation, and conduct, and fruition. And then these 4 lines, each one represent view, meditation, conduct, and fruition. You can see transcending every dualistic notion of perceiver and perceive is the king of views. Now it's clear, yeah, as Mahamudra point of view, that perceiver and perceived, the subject and object. Most of the time when lamas, sometimes you ask, I want to get a pointing out mind instruction. They would say, look at your mind that want to meditate. Wanting meditate my mind, if you look at that, then should dissolve in the right way, in that way. And this is a view. What is a view? Do we know? What does a view mean?
Do you understand?
Our understanding, yeah, our belief, our so it's the important part. So how good we are practitioners are, how much we can accept. That is really important. If we can accept beyond a little bit our conceptual level, that should be good for us. If we just believe in our normal thinking patterns, then it means we are not going anywhere. Since we are stay here for a while, enjoy our samsaric life. So view, sometimes in a term that realize view. What does that mean, realize view? Can you realize your belief? Your beliefs become objects, yeah? But maybe not in that sense that you are correct. You realize the nature, it is the same as how you understand. Usually view itself is subject or object. It's sometimes important. People get confused when we say dharmata and dharmakaya and meditator and meditation and what we meditate. So these are important. So view is reality or view is something else. Yeah. So view is mainly our thinking means is sort of perceiver. Perceive what? Reality. A view realize the ultimate reality. Should be. So view is our tool that first engage with reality. So meditation just extends based on that understanding. If we don't understand this reality, the union of emptiness and clarity, then our meditation cannot be as authentic as genuine as what is prescribed in Mahamudra tradition. So view is important. And then after view, we can meditate. Meditate is an English word that seems used a lot. So cultivation or meditation or contemplation, we have a lot of way to pay attention on this subject. And being undistracted is the king of meditation. So here king of views, king of meditation, king of conduct. It means the best view, best meditation, and best conduct, and so forth. So we want to be a best meditation. We wanted to attain or use best meditation to access our nature, yeah? And making no deliberate effort is the king of conduct. Usually conducts often involve with efforts, yeah, we know. Even sitting cross-legged is quite effortful. And relaxation is sometimes difficult to do. And some Dzogchen meditation or Mahamudra maybe, you can meditate whether stand up or sit down or lie down. It doesn't really matter. It says your body should be like a corpse in a cemetery. Just throw there. And then having neither hope nor fear is to realize the fruition. So once we get this fruition, there is no hopes or fears because we have no hopes of attaining nirvana. We have no fears of falling into samsara, sort of, the fear are these two we often use. So now we went through two, that first we need to find a teacher, learn well, and then we have a motivation to renounce samsara. Maybe if you don't want to renounce samsara, then maybe you don't need Mahamudra. Really? What use for that? Yeah. And so don't be very harsh on yourself. If you don't want to renounce samsara, then just enjoy life a little bit. It's better to don't kill yourself, something like that. Yeah. So Mahamudra is the killer. Exactly. Disappear from samsara, automatically. Yeah. And then we have this another list that verse 17, we have introducing these, usually the points, or the introducing the key points here is that first line is introducing there's no external objects. These appearances is just sort of illuminating or the illumination of the mind nature. Do you remember Trupung Rinpoche was telling us the last time that Nangwan Lenjik Jeba, the core emergence, the core emergence of Gambhapa's core emergence of Mahamudra, we have non-Atlantic Jeba and semi-Atlantic Jeba. The core emergence of phenomena or appearances, and the core emergence of the mind nature. What does that really mean? Core emergence. It comes with by this that we cannot remove the other from the other quality. It's called the core emergence of appearances is the radiation or the lights of Dharmakaya. And the core emergence of mind nature is Dharmakaya itself. So what appears is coming from here, not there yet. There's nothing out there. And here, the first line is there's no external objects. What is this phenomena is just the lights of my nature itself. That's the third part. And then fourth is there's no path to traverse. We are already, if there's no path, then we are already we already reached to the shore or wherever we need to go. So there is no path, there is no objects, there is no path. And then the fifth one is there is no objects of meditation in the Mahamudra tradition. Even we have discussion at lunch that even we think there are gaps between thoughts, the objects. There's no such objects there. So objects, the meditation has no objects, so that way we can attain enlightenment. So these three lines from the verse 17 is these three. Yeah? Okay. It says, mind is luminous by nature, devoid of any reference point. How mind illuminates? So mind illuminates without objects. If there is objects, would blocks, yeah? Light needs some empty space to shine through. Even clouds can block the sunlight. So objects is blocking mind lights. And then without the path to treat, interesting, treat. What does? Tread. Oh, tread. My. Tread, you enter the path of the Buddha. So if there is objects, or there is a path, then you need to figure out the objects, yeah? Whether these objects we need to discard, reject, or accept, or affirmation, affirmed or denial. So there is something out there we could engage. If there's nothing there, we don't need to engage. It's a little bit hard, but try to we try to accept this thing and then practice slowly, or very fast. When you become habituated to non-meditation, you will attain unsurpassed awakening. So these are, you can see why Mahamudra cannot teach, cannot explain. If we think something we can do, then that is not good way of thinking. And these are important. Will, meditation, and conduct. Maybe we can rest a little bit to see maybe questions or clarifications maybe have. Yeah, people sometimes need to digest a little bit, then come up great thoughts, not the lunch, but and then the thoughts.
Yes, Kimball, I have a question.
Yes.
I believe yesterday, if I recall correctly, you said that when we are sitting in meditation, maybe it's better to only be for a few minutes at a time and doing things correctly than trying to stay for like a half hour or hours, because I'm sure I'm not alone in this, but I have medical conditions that will not allow me to sit for hours without doing some kind of movement. Even if I'm just gently moving in my seat forward, backwards. So, is it your suggestion that we only go for shorter periods of time and then maybe try to do it multiple times a day versus doing one long sit? Thank you.
Yes, exactly. If according to Dzogchen practice, the actual meditation cutting through is only can do while you are not moving. Maybe some condition we need to sit in a chair or whatever, but still trying to sit without much movement, and that helps kind of stabilize or settle in a nature state. Exactly, that even we trying to sit, not try to sit without moving or silent, and also uh, breathe gently, we still cannot hold. Maybe hold is not good term. Resting in the mind is doesn't last that long. It's because our nature is not set in that way. We are kind of programmed, or somehow we are in a samsaric situation that our thoughts are rise endlessly. Yeah? That's why our thoughts, we cannot stop our thought. Its thoughts are continue. So even we can rest a very short moment, but thinking or thoughts rise immediately after, and that's why we need to sit back quietly and look at back our mind nature again and again. So that is sort of main practice. If we put effort to maintain longer, holding that kind of period of time, but then it's not really the actual practice. It becomes some sort of a concept, what we rely on some sort of concept, and that doesn't count as actual Dzogchen or Mahamudra meditation. However, I said that Mahamudra is much more friendly to anyone that we can cultivate, and we don't lose mindfulness. Sometimes can count, but that actual Mahamudra itself, you can see here the meditation is without non-meditation. So sort of meditation is habituation, that there's no meditations of it. And especially there is no objects of meditation. Even objects means even emptiness or mind nature or anything. There's no objects of meditation. So that's important to repeat again and again, again and again.
Thank you, Kampola.
Yes, there is a third Karma Barang Gyundorji's Mahamudra aspiration prayer, and we mentioned a few times, but we didn't really look at the text itself. If you look at there's a nice verse that talks about how to meditate. And of course, we have computers, but we don't want to look at those. We make our commitment, yeah?
Prior to hearing you speak about this need for a feeling of like revulsion, I thought of renunciation. I had heard as like a disenchantment with samsara, which sounds less dramatic. So I was just thinking, what do you think is so important about going into this more like, rather than just disenchanted, more like this revulsion, the benefits of that?
Yes, the Tibetan, we have, there's probably many terms, but these two terms, one's called Ngenjung. Ngenjung is disenchantment or renunciation, something that kind of leave behind, to leave samsara behind, more like disenchantment. But here we have this hianlo. Hianlo is really revulsion, or when you eat too much, sometimes you got vomiting, yeah? So that is hianlo. 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 That's why I bring these texts. What they say? It says revulsion, yeah? This second page of our chanting. That's the hianlo. Hianlo is you really discuss these samsaric things, samsaric life, which means ourself. And when thinking about ourself is kind of nausea and vomiting's coming. Yeah. So that part is called hianlo. I think in the Kagyupa tradition we have this strong revulsion to samsara, not just, we cannot treat this samsara as just gently. disgusting, so that's a Xianlong in here. Yeah, it's a Tibetan it's the revulsion itself is what? Revulsion is the food of meditation. You didn't notice that? Gongba. Food. Yeah. If you
The foot, that's
we read few times. Yeah. Should we read together? Okay. One more. Yeah. It's called Invoking the Blessing of the Gaju Lineage. Maybe I was talking about food, but you heard food. Oh wow, that's interesting. That's revulsion of food. Wow, yeah, that's quite amazing. So dharmas can be heard differently, yeah. So Tibetan, I have this melody. I probably not good at, but I chant too many times. What you practice that somehow this has a little bit a melody that and you don't have to raise your wonderful voice unless you are so excited and urge, or you can follow me well. Dorjin Jan Jan de lo naro don marba melai chuje gambo ba tuzum jeya gunjen gama ba cheye chungji juban zinam tan jeda tarzum barden rupa so Samlang cha cha che la nga ni be nyamen zhong gong tao bo ka ju la so wan de so ka ju la ma na ju ban zhen ho nam da xin ji lo xian lo gong ji gang ba re zong ba xin si no re kung lai cha yin me ba tang Tende duda jubi gumchen la Nyen korai shenpa me varai shenje la Mugu gumchen go voro zongwa shin Menga e dergo jibi la ma la Jinda zorwa endebe gumchen la Jumi mugu che varai shenje la Yingme gongji ngoyi zongwa xin gongshara dobi ngo soma de maju de garen jobi gumchen la gumya lo zang charai xinji lo namto ngor chuga zongba xin je yang ma yin je yang charwa la Manga Rurvan Jarve Gumjen Lo Kundi Yerme Dobre Shinjelo Jewa Kundu Yongda Lama Dang Drame Juji Barla Longjuni Sadam Lamji Yuden Rabzone Dorjin Changi Kombo Nyurdo Jo in English. Now pay attention to the revulsion, okay?
Great Vajradhara, Tilopa and Naropa, Marpa, Milarepa, and Gampopa, Lord of Dharma, you who know all past, present, and future, the Karmapa, holders of the 4 earlier and 8 later lineages, Drikon, Kaksalpa, and the glorious Drupa, and the rest, masters of the profound path of Mahamudra, unequaled protectors of beings, the Dagpo Gakir. To all of you, the Kagyu Lamas, I pray, inspire me with your blessing to uphold this lineage and follow you to liberation. Revulsion for samsara is the feat of meditation, so it is taught. Free of craving and attachment to things like food and wealth, having severed the ties to this life, inspire this meditator with your blessing to be rid of addiction to possessions and fame. Devotion is the head of meditation, so it is taught. The Lama opens the door to the treasure of the pith instructions. Praying constantly to him, inspire this meditator with your blessing, so that uncontrived devotion is born within me. Non-distraction is the main body of meditation, so it is taught. Whatever arises in that very essence of thought, fresh, natural, unaltered, leaving it just there, inspire this meditator with your blessing. So my meditation is free from conceptual mind. The nature of thoughts is dharmakaya, so it is taught. They are nothing whatsoever, yet appear as anything at all, arising as an unceasing display. Inspire this meditator with your blessing to realize that samsara and nirvana are not separate. In all my lives, may I never be separate from the perfect Lama, and so enjoy the splendor of Dharma. Mastering completely the qualities of the path and stages, may I swiftly attain this sublime state of Vajradhara.
Yeah, this is important. What is the head of meditation?
Devotion. Devotion.
And what is meditation? Body of meditation. What is our thoughts? Nature of our thoughts. Dharmakaya. So it's not between the thoughts. Thoughts itself, nature, yeah. And this is important to understand. So now revulsion is strong, or yeah, revulsion is quite quite strong.
You say not the space between the thoughts. I think you just say that.
Yeah, I think there's no space between thoughts. Yeah, we cannot stop thoughts. We stop thoughts, then our mind is stopped. Yeah, it's weak. That's why alaya is the stream of thoughts never stops. That's the idea. Anyone online? Do they have? Do you have, or do they have?
I have a question, Kempala.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Yeah, it may be quite a simple question. So it says revulsion for samsara is the feat of meditation.
Yes.
But then later, in later the verse it says realize that samsara and nirvana are not separate.
Yes.
So does that mean that it's also revulsion for nirvana as well? If samsara and nirvana are the same thing, we have to have revulsion for samsara.
Yes.
Then do we have revulsion for nirvana too?
No.
Can you explain then, if samsara and nirvana are not separate,
Yes.
then why do we have revulsion for one and not the other?
Really good. Yeah. So that's why Anila's question is involved with this renunciation first. The beginners, we have to have some sort of goal to why we are meditating. And we are meditating for our well-being, or our next life, or for others. Probably for our well-being, we don't really need to revolution our life. And modern days, people even teach you need to love yourself, you need to cherish yourself, you need to boost yourself a little bit, and so forth. So that's just modern day teaching. And then the traditional way of teaching is Dharma teaching or practice are we want to leave samsara behind, including our life, possession, and everything. So in order to do that, we need to renounce samsara. And then we have even stronger things than revulsion of possessions and everything. So that is sort of beginning, and also it's energized that I'm leave behind, samsara leave behind. I'm leaving, I'm going. That kind of attitude. So it's not the actual meditation. So that's why actual meditation is there is no dualistic thoughts should not interfere, or dualistic thoughts should not interfere at this meditation. That's why we call non-destruction is the main body of meditation. And you can see that either we can treat this as a gangba or some, if we move forward, we should have that renunciation, revulsion. But comes to actual meditation, we should not have any revulsion or accepting, including samsara and nirvana. Is that, yes, sometimes that's why this Buddhist practice, especially Mahamudra and Dzogchen, is not straightforward. It's always involved with devotion, compassion, will, believing, and all these positive emotions are necessary. Sometimes maybe good to have communities to fist fight a little bit and forgive and so forth. Yeah, that's exercise they call. So Dharma practice nothing but exercise, mental exercise. Yeah, but students have to have some goal to what we want to do.
Ekentula, I have a question. You mentioned that it's like a goal to achieve something. So normally when we pray, we ask for the two siddhis, the ordinary siddhis and the supreme siddhis.
Yes.
So is it unless we achieve the ordinary siddhis, can we assume that we have not achieved Mahamudra? So
Yes, with cities we call the ordinary cities. We can fly, or we can walk through walls, or we can read others people's mind. These are temporary, ordinary things mentioned in the text. And then we really want to siddhi. That's this Mahamudra, realization of Mahamudra. Do you remember blessing and siddhi? The siddhi is realization. Without blessing, we would not have siddhi. I'm not promoting the guru business, but that's how texts present. And blessing means we have give some power, ability to understand correctly. That is called siddhi. And In order to do that, we may have all sort of obstacles. That's why the Dakini practice or some removing obstacle practices are necessary and important.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's good, yeah? Mahamudra is really good. And then we have a sixth, these first preliminary practice as 7, yeah, the 6. This is a little bit complicated. You may already forget it, but that's fine. As I may not ask again. And now the meditation. This 6 goes from verse 18 to 19, 20. We have after first 2 line, then seems goes another category. But the 6th is first we are abandoning this busyness or distracted life, or the dunzi is sometimes used as we have a busy distracted life that we need to avoid that to meditate in secluded places. So this area is talking about that. So all days, the Mahamudra meditators like Delobai and Naropa, why they're in the jungles, yeah, with tigers and snakes and dogs. And then we know Milarepa famous, his caves are in high mountain slopes. And Milarepa think his friends are deers and bears and monkeys are much more fine than the humans. Humans are become sometimes very complicated. Yeah, they have all kind of plans to make other people miserable. So that's they have that kind of ability. And science always say animals cannot plan. For humans, we have this ability of make plans. Yeah, including those there. And we can read together and see. Now, maybe, Anela, you can read verse 18, 19, and half of 20.
Alas, look closely at worldly phenomena. Like dreams and illusions, they cannot last. Dreams and illusions do not actually exist. Therefore, develop disenchantment and abandon worldly activities. Having cut through the bonds of attachment and aversion to people and places, meditate alone in forests and mountain retreats. Remain there in a natural state of non-meditation. When you attain non-attainment, you attain Mahamudra. Cut the root of a living tree, and its hundreds of thousands of branches and leaves will wither.
And you can see now these teachings are usually all Buddhist teaching that samsara is like dreams and illusions. Have you heard of that, everyone? Yeah. And people read Vajrachitika or the Diamond Cutter or that teachings that cut diamond. So we have Vajrachitika is Dorje Choba in Tibetan. People wondering what does that really mean. This teaching even can cut diamonds, or a diamond-like teaching that can cut others. We sometimes translate in English. We see diamond cutter. So they usually use 8 examples of illusory, mirage, dream, and so forth, you can see. So here, look closely at the worldly phenomena. Worldly phenomena means including ourselves. This is just dream. Sometimes it helps if we just think a moment. If this is dream, I'm dreaming. Or there is a famous dream in the Chinese, what they call, yeah, what they say. There's a butterfly. Yeah.
The dream, there was a butterfly. I woke up and wondered, did I dream I was a butterfly, or is the butterfly having the dream that it's shrunk?
Yeah. So this dream, you are dreaming me or I dream you, so I don't know. So that is the so-called dreams and illusions. They're not lost, or of course they're not lost, but at the same time, there's no actual thing. Dreams and illusions do not actually exist either. So Buddhists have these wonderful examples that they are proud of. One thing they are proud of is dream. Whenever there is something you need to explain, they bring a dream. Because dream is interesting things. I think still science don't know how to explain why dream occur, and we don't know what's going on. So dream is because dream we have this subject-object dualistic world present almost like a daytime, and but at the same time, when you wake up, there's nothing really happened. Yeah, totally, absolutely nothing there. So that's why they are so proud that they can say it's like dream. And this dream, the samsara, the moment or current situation now, is a dream. Why they want to kind of say everything's sort of fall apart or nothing is really positive? Because the construction of samsara is based on a mistake that we made. It's called ignorance, and based on these misconceptions, we make further mistakes, and then attachment and aversion are occur based on that. And having cut through maybe this one, therefore develop disenchantment and abandon worldly activity. So worldly activity is the busy life, what we have in modern days. That is, of course, practicing Dharma is very difficult. We know that we are in that process is the purpose and what we want to achieve is totally different than what society around and the parents who nourish us taught us that how we need to be as a decent human being. So if we reverse that, renunciation means reverse that, and that is difficult. So that's why it's not really fun business. Need to give effort to get out of this samsara. It's not difficult for not really fun for the practice. We know. We did ordinune, so that's not just for fun. So Dharma practice is more hardship than just enjoyment. And sometimes modern days we have good advertisements that something if you meditate in 20 minutes, all your problems will be just disappear. And so that and that's the kind of society we are in. And then still in these 6 categories, that having cut through the bonds of attachment and aversion, people and place, meditate alone in a forest and a mountain retreats, remain there as a natural state of non-meditation. So these are generally we heard every single teachings that somehow we renounce and we found a retreat, secluded place, then we need to retreat. And that's old style Dharma practice that worked by then and now is either difficult or we cannot do that. That's just another situation. When you attain a non-attainment, you attain Mahamudra. So Mahamudra is not really attainable because there's nothing to be attained. That is Mahamudra. I'm not just encouraging you, but that's what text says. And then cut the root of a living tree, and its hundreds of thousands of branches and leaves will wither. So here means the renunciation that the samsara leaves behind, and if we know the cause of the samsara, if we cut that ignorance, that's immediately can cut by Mahamudra or Dzogchen. We slowly, with analytical understanding and meditation step by step, we can do Madhyamika and other traditions. So this cutting the tree, the root of a living tree, then all the branches of all apart means if you cut the core concept of mind or ignorance, then all this desire, hatred, and wantings and unwanting things are collapse in that sense. And then we have 7th. What do you think 7 would be? Just guess. For fun. 7.
Well, what sadhana? You asked what sadhana would be?
No.
Oh,
7. This is preliminary practice.
Oh, okay.
So
Sattva.
Sa. Say.
Practice.
Practice.
Is the last one 7?
Oh.
7 is the last one. Yeah.
Yeah, practice.
Wouldn't be that the last one 7? Sattva?
What was
7. You were saying what's the
No.
7? Yeah. I want to give you participate and guessing participate.
And we all fail.
Which one?
When we fail. We said, well, forget it.
Okay.
Practice.
So are we talking about experience then, number 7?
Experiential practice.
Do you remember this is practice and preliminary practice session? Preliminary has 7. And this is practice. So what we have is we need to find a good teacher. We should have renunciation. That together. Finding guru and renunciation is one. And then ascertainment or the correct understanding of the view, meditation, khandha, fruit, that is the second. And then we have, there is no actual objects except the lights of my nature. There is no path to traverse, and there is no object of meditation. That's 5. And then 6th is one need to give up all the worldly things to go to a secluded place to meditate. Then if you do that, what happens? That's clue. Yeah, that's the benefit of that is the 7th. Benefit of doing all these things.
Non-attainment with Mahamudra.
Not yet. Not yet. This is preliminary practice. And according to this text, now we have this start from likewise by observing the root of the mind, and so forth. This is the sort of benefit or fruit of that meditation. Maybe Anila, you can read that. Likewise to the finish 21st verse 21.
Likewise, by severing the root of the mind, the foliage of samsara will perish. The darkness of 1,000 eons is dispelled by the light of a single lamp. Likewise, the luminous clarity of mind instantly dispels the negativities and obscurations amassed over eons.
Mm-hmm. You can see this is there is a good analogy in here. People sometimes ask, "Oh, we have been in the samsara almost beginningless of time. We accumulate so much negativities that eons and eons. We collected these all habitual tendencies, that bad karma. How we can purify? If we need to purify that, then we need to stay in the samsara endless to purify. Each need to purify by antidote of that. Usually antidotes are sort of one by one. Yeah, it's if there is anger, then maybe we need to antidote for that. If desire or something. But here is saying that darkness of 1,000 eons is dispelled by the light of a single lamp, a single instant. So, why Mahamudra and Dzogchen is so important, so powerful? Because the moment you look at your mind nature, if you recognize that part, all the obscurations collected in eons is dispelled. So that's why it's important. There is often we call the negative karma has no qualities, not good qualities, mainly. But there is one good quality in negative karma. Do you know that? Yeah, it can be purified. So purified in a certain purification that can purify much faster than the other way. So that is preliminary practice for according to these texts. And any thoughts on that? What's the difference between our usual preliminary practice or something? But we don't need to discuss too much on that, maybe, yeah? Do you have? No? Okay.
So number 7 is purification. Is that what the 7th in the preliminary practices is?
Benefit.
The benefits.
A benefit of that preliminary practice or the meditation.
Or just benefits in general?
What is the benefit of that meditation?
Is complete purification.
Yeah. For example, one single instant lamp can dispel the eons of that cave. Usually we call northern cave, facing caves that face north. Usually sun shines. The southern part, that we have a lot of mountains. And that cave never had any lights. But then you go there, you want to carry a butter lamp, and then suddenly all the darkness is gone. So don't think purification is that difficult. Yeah? Belief is who you are and who we are. Okay, now what do you think? Next one. Main practice, yes. Finally. And now we have this main practice. The main practice is now we are talking about more what kind of person practice. There is 3 types of person, usually always here. The best one, and then good one, and then what we call?
The regular one.
Or we can come from bottom up. Good, better, and best. Yeah. So this is the best can faculty that who has really intelligent and perseverance and everything together. So this person practice in this way. Maybe Anila, you can read 22 and 23.
Is that Keho?
Yes.
The intellect cannot see the truth that transcends the intellect. You will not discover the truth beyond action by means of deliberate action. If you want to attain the truth of transcending mind and effort, cut through the root of the mind and rest in naked awareness. Allow the water muddied by discursive thoughts to settle naturally. Without affirming or negating what arises, leave it as it is. When there is no acceptance or rejection, appearances are liberated into Mahamudra. The unborn ground of all is free from the obscuring veils of karmic imprints. Rest in the unborn essence without discriminating between meditation and post-meditation. When you recognize appearances as self-projections, the phenomena produced by the conceptual mind will cease to be.
And you can see here that what kind of method used to good meditators would meditate Mahamudra meditation. And intellect, yesterday we talked about what does intellect mean in English. Do you know? Intellect, Tibetan is law, yeah. Law is we call intellect or mind. So intellect, Tibetan has lo yi chu. Lo yi chu is dharma. Dharma is phenomena, and even Bodhicharya Avatara already say that todam lo yi chu yor mi. The ultimate truth is not objects of mind or concept or intellect. Intellect is a little bit different for me here, as mainly law is the mind. Cannot see the true transcend intellect, so we need to go beyond intellect. We need to go beyond understanding. We do remember understanding is very basic level. Animals also understand things, yeah. They know where is the water, they go there, and sometimes they are much more intelligent than us, I think. The whales and the migrators of birds, they cross without any navigator to cross 1,000 miles. They know where exactly they need to go. Where to stay away from?
Or birds know because they know where to stay away from.
Yeah. And they can go back without a navigator. And in the ocean, many big fish, they can go to thousands miles without navigation.
That we can understand emptiness, can we understand space or not?
Space.
Intellectually we can
Just space?
The space, like the mind is like space.
Mind is like space, but we don't say mind is space, yeah. We want to say we have mind, but we don't want to say I have space. So mind has some qualities that cognize ability. aware things. That's the difference between space and mind. And here the intellect is, English we use intellectual, intellects that sounds, know something cleverly, yeah? So that's part, is the understanding we talk about, it's no value, mainly not much value understanding in a practice itself. Because understanding is just fall apart. We cannot carry understanding very far. This understanding is falling apart. Because understanding is assertion that mainly guessing.
Based in the body, not based in the body. Understanding that's only based in the body. Once you leave the body, you cannot take that understanding.
Not only that, science always change their mind. Yeah?
Would you say that an English word that might be similar to yeshe could be gnosis? The old English use of that word. Have you heard anyone talk about that? They're translators.
That's people. I like that. I use
You do use gnosis.
all my life.
So that,
But people don't like that.
the translators don't like to use gnosis.
Yes, they say, what is that?
It's so old.
I know, and because that's why people want to use real English,
Real modern English.
primordial knowing.
Primordial gnosis.
It's also sort of literal meaning of Tibetan. Ye xie. Ye is primordial, xie means knowing.
I think this John Reynolds translator uses the word gnosis in some of his early translations.
Oh, I use all the time.
I use all the time.
Yeah, gnosis. Do you know where gnosis is coming from?
Is it Greek?
It's Greek, but where is also
Which
Sanskrit, jnana, jnana,
maybe Lithuanian language also.
Jnana, knows, yeah. Yeah, and before some of my friends and we pronounce it as gnosis. They say no, not gnosis, it's gnosis. But gnosis, yeah? Gnosis, yeah. Yeah. So gnosis. Do you understand gnosis? No. So that's why people don't like gnosis. So intellect is, we are not talking about gnosis, intellect. Intellect is a conceptual mind that understanding, intellect, mind can understand, cannot really directly perceive, maybe it's not truth, but it's more inferences rather than a directly encounter with realization. And you will not discover the truth beyond action by means of deliberate action. So action cannot discover actionless thing. If you want to attain the true transcending mind and effort, cutting through the roots of mind and rest in a naked awareness, this is more Dzogchen term similarly, that naked awareness or the raw awareness. So that's awareness is naked means there's nothing that cover awareness, our own awareness. that meditation is coming. Yeah. Allow the water muddied by discursive thoughts to settle naturally. So then, without affirmation, or denying, or negating, what arises, leave it as it is. When there is no acceptance or rejections, you do, appearances are liberated into Mahamudra. So don't think there is transformation in there. It's not transforming. But the unborn ground of all is free from obscuring will of karmic imprints. Rest in an unborn essence without discriminating between meditation and post-meditation. That's a really higher level practice. If we can do meditation and post-mediation are become sort of equal, that then it's really sometimes called meditation without day and night. So 24 hours you can do that. When you recognize appearance as itself or projections, the phenomena produced by the conceptual mind will cease to be. Okay, we have a tea. And the last kind, so kind, but feeding us. Okay, we take a break and come back. This will be last session, and then our summer teaching will finish, but then other activities will come. So please come back. Oh, 15 minutes.
Okay. So we'll be back in 15 minutes. 3:45.
Ok, gracias.
But if you know,
is good?
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, good, good.
Fantastic.
The good thing is Tibetan tradition, while practicing, we can enjoy at the same time. So life is not that bad, yeah? And now we have these good practitioners here and there and between. And also we seems try to understand what is view, what is meditation, and what is conduct, and what is fruition. So, do you remember these texts repeating that? And that's something very important in any teaching, Mahamudra, or the Greek perfection, or any teaching. So the verse 24 is also talking about or teaching about the view, meditation, conduct, and fruition of the deacon faculty or the best practitioners. And again, complete release from the all extreme is the foremost king of views. If we can let things go, to try not to put our messy thoughts in a view, trying to understand the natural reality. And boundless deep and vast is the foremost king of meditation. So meditation need to open, spacious, and pervasive, and not focusing on only one object, then it contract our mind. Yeah. Natural and effortless abiding is the foremost king of the conduct. The conduct often we teach Vinaya's Pratimoksha view, Pratimoksha vows, we know there is hundreds, 250 plus more we need to hold that vow. And Bodhisattva's vows and the tantric vows are even more. So even they say if tantric samaya is much more complicated, much more severe than pratimoksha vows, maybe people difficult to understand pratimoksha views, monastic rules. And so sometimes introduce that if you see water as water, that means you are breaking samaya. Yeah. So we need to see appearances as a deity, sound as a mantra, and our concept as wisdom. And then natural abiding, free of any hopes, is the foremost king of fruition. And those are easy. Now we have went through these few times. And then these also, so that part is belongs to the first part, and then we have these here. It shows that three persons are the three meditators, or three Mahamudra meditators, or three yogis or yoginis through the example. This verse 25. In the beginning, mind is like a torrent rushing down a gorge. Usually when we meditate, this is sort of more like a general meditation. When we train shamatha or vipassana, once we focus on our mind, then sometimes we recognize or we notice that seems like much more thoughts arise, discursive thoughts arise. Not because there's more discursive thoughts arise when we meditate, but when we focus on, then we notice that our mind has a lot of activities in a deep level. And here, probably everyone knows that water streams that gushing down from mountain slopes or gorges, it's make noise and it's fast and it's unpredictable, yeah. So that's the first meditator's mind is a little bit rushing and agitated, and all sort of things could happen. It's not a bad thing. It's just that how we are. And then the middle means in establish more, settle down, and more advanced. Then our mind stream flows gently like a river Ganges. Have you ever been in India, river Ganges area? It's almost like not moving. It's more like lake than gushing down. Probably the upper part of the Ganges, river Ganges, much more force, but comes to in the lower area, Varanasi and those area, is kind of plain and flows very slowly. So now you have much more gentle mind that's stable, but still the currency is there. When we describe mind is always described with a movement. It's called yuva in Tibetan. It's a movement. We cannot really describe what mind is. We don't really know. Do we have mind? Probably, yeah, we have mind. So that's how we know, because we can feel it. We experience it. So that's why we can use the mind to meditate. But actual mind, what is mind and what is the actual mind is we cannot point, or we cannot really hold or grasp it. So mind is just movement. And until this movement stops, thoughts doesn't stop. So then now even our mind is very gently moving, and maybe surface level there is no movement, but under currents is still there's a movement. And then lastly, in the end, it is like stream return to the sea, it's the mother. So once water, river flow into the ocean, then much calmer than the river's ocean body sometimes. Not we are talking about just waves, but deep down ocean is calmer, and our mind is joining there. That now has become a real Mahamudra. Yeah? And in the Dzogchen tradition, we are saying here this mother light and child light, light, luminosity, light. That we have a child light, and mother light is Dharmakaya or Dharmadhatu. When we die, become Buddhahood. So our light, child light, is returned to mother's lap, that is Dharmakaya, and become inseparable to becoming Buddha. That is called mother light. So that's, if we can do that, those are the kin faculties, and then even there is beginners and middles, and then the end, what happened in that way. Can we do that, Mahamudra? And now we have these the middle or good, the better ones. What would they do? The better meditation. Not the best one, but middle ones. How they meditate. These. If those of lesser abilities cannot abide in this state, lesser means lesser than the great ones. So great ones can abide their meditation or their rigpa in the state or the nature state. So then we don't need to worry about that. If those of lesser abilities cannot abide in this state, means the Mahamudra state, then what we need to do? They should follow the key point of the winds and cast awareness into the essence. So there is some methods that holding breath it's important. We call zalong, zalong. What does zalong mean? Winds and channels. Yeah, so in English we call wind. It's sometimes people don't want to translate that part because winds in the English is interesting thing. Winds is out there, not winds inside the body. And people use rather than Chinese to say qi, yeah. Sounds like that there's some energy that comes with this movement. So either breath or the wind or qi or something that movement in the channels. Channels means there is a subtle, when we talk about subtle body, and then we have channels, winds, and bindus. So these three are real sort of subtle bodies that tantric practice utilize or manipulate that to practice. What Milarepa says, do you know? So where Milarepa talks about these refuge objects, he say Buddha, Dharma, Sangha are the outer refuge objects, because we can treat Buddha as a person, Dharma is teaching, that Sangha we know companions or spiritual friends that are we can find externally. And then he said, Lama yidam kandrosum. The Lama we know. No. Something going on? Oh, no. It's okay. Don't mind it. Oh, need to put here. How about now? Okay, better. Seems better. What I said? What?
You were saying Milarepa says.
Oh, okay. Yes. And do you remember when we offer mandala? If you were not there, it's a Guru Devadakini. Guru Devadakini are the inner refuge. Why? Sometimes I say why, but that's because we can treat the Guru and Dawa and the Dakinis are in our psychophysical system. When we can visualize Guru as our body, yeah? And those are the inner objects of refuge. Lama Yidam Kando or Guru Deva Dakini or the Lama, the Yidam, the Dakinis are. Then Milarepa says, Tsa Tong Long Tong Tigle Sum Tisum Zongwi Jamne, Tunji Jamne or Zongwi Jamne. The Tsa channels, Long, the wind, breath, or the qi, and the tigle, bindu. These three, the tigle is another difficult to translate. It's drops or bindus or spheres or essence, whatever we call them. These three are the most essence refuge, objects of refuge. And you can see how the practice is involved with all the tantric practice. We can take refuge Buddha Dharma Sangha, and tantric practice we can take Lama Yidam Khandro as refuge, and then Tsa Long Tigle, channel bindu, channel wind bindus are the essence or the secret refuge. So that is an important one, because here didn't really say one should visualize or one should say other. Here mainly say Long Gine Song, It's one should hold the key points of the winds. So this is include in a narrow, six yogas of Naropa. And cast awareness into the essence. That is difficult to translate, and I'm not sure how to translate in English. Here is seems cast awareness into the essence. What do you hear? They should or cast awareness into the essence. What does that mean? Does it make sense in English?
Well, casting is like throwing, or when you go fishing, you cast the lure into the water. You go cast. Maybe Ted knows better, or Mark, my English language, one of the keys, but it seems like throwing.
Yes.
I think it's put your mind in the actual practice of the movement of the wind and the tigli.
No.
Join your mind, your consciousness with that.
I don't think it's saying Tigle here. Didn't mention Tigle in the Tibetan. It's a Longine song. One should hold the key points of the winds. And then Rikpa Jula Por seems this pour is let it be rather than a throw. And Jut means almost like every it's not cascade, but it's the Rigpa awareness itself separated almost alone to let it be. Do you remember earlier we have the awareness should be naked. And here the pour translate as a throw, but it seems could be translated in a little bit different way. Throw is another.
Could it be drop awareness? If you're working with the key points of the winds,
Mm-hmm.
and with the mind you're generating this energy. Just after doing that practice for some time, then drop, or cast is kind of throw. To me, it's strange, personally, but I'm not a linguist.
But I'm saying that the Tibetan itself as pour could be let it be. And Jud doesn't translate the Jud in Tibetan here in English. Jud means wrapped.
Casting can also be like if you're casting cast iron, like if you're pouring molten iron into something.
No, that's not here. Yeah, pour could be let it be, because before that we have another verb, didn't translate in English, which is jut. Jut means wrapped around or enveloped, rigpa inside something, but it's not, that didn't translate in English. So you see, there will be better translations you can find in the future. Today we are just, this is the initial way of reading. There's a, yes?
Could abandon be used
No, don't use English. I'm trying to avoid that part. poor is here is use that seems should not. And drop Rigpa in essence doesn't seem to work to me in the cast or throw in the Rigpa. But pour, Jula pour in the Tibetan if you are good translator in a future generation or this generation. Is I'm saying this person avoid one important verb here.
Hello, may I speak? Yes, as a former teacher, when anybody was of lesser ability, we had to use the word exceptionality. And I know that typically indicates somebody who has some extraordinary ability, but in English, in the case of a teacher, it would apply to somebody who is just different. They may have something that makes them different, a different, like they learn a different way, or they may have been diagnosed by something with a from a doctor, but not to use the word like poor or bad. In the number 26, it says those of lesser ability. I don't know if exceptionality would be a good word or not. It's just what I'm offering from the perspective of a former teacher. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and also the certain point, if you really become a good translator, you should feel the language, not just searching dictionary to filling out the words that may not be meaning in there. But if you want to do that, you also should feel every single word. But here I'm saying avoid one Tibetan term, jut, which means wrapped around or enveloped, which is belongs a term to talking about Rigpa. The pour could be cast, could be throw, could be abandoned, and could be let it be. So I'm saying here, my understanding, Tibetan word pour here seems using as let it be. Yeah. And that's, we of course have another translations. Of course, there is so many on chat, but we don't know what's in there. Yeah. Chat.
Is there a negation for the envelope? The envelope?
Negation?
Yeah, so you said the envelope.
Uh-huh.
Is there a negation of that in the Tibetan?
No.
So there is not.
No negation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is awareness also mind?
No, now we are talking about beyond mind. Rigpa is non-dual wisdom. Mahamudra and the Dzogchen tradition. It's a little bit different than mind. However, Gelugpa tradition and Rigpa, law, mind, Hepa, these are synonyms. There's 4, maybe. Yeah, knowing that help a lot, yeah? Okay, either letting it be, and then these are technical words, yeah, through various gaze and ways of focusing the mind. So gaze is either we can do, sometimes gazing is, in the Dzogchen tradition, we have a lot of gazings. And here, not necessarily that kind of gazing, but gaze when we do 7 postures of Vajrayana meditation, also there's a particular gazing. And then we have other gazings, but gaze is plural. We need to practice all sort of things. And when we practice lawful deities, we have certain way of gazing, yeah? When we visualize as Vajrakalaya, and our things are growing longer and longer, and then our eyes are getting bulging and looking as much more intense than others. So that may help. So, and the ways of focusing the mind. So this is the means that how to train our mind and focusing and the gazing. Persevere until you abide in awareness. Another seems a little bit problem with the Tibetan term and English. What does persevere mean? Persistence.
Hang in there.
But Tibetan is Jun. Jun is a difficult word that often comes Dzogchen and the Mahamudra tradition. And Jun is, I sometimes use less effortful practice that to tune. When you, do you remember good old days? We have radios that you need to tune. Yeah, yeah. If so, that's kind of natural way of doing it. But persevere doesn't represent, or it's not literal meaning, and not this meaning seems apply here. And sometimes good translators make interesting mistakes that reverse subject into objects and object into subject. Seems that happened in here. The awareness is the subject sentence here in as a sentence, subject of sentence. And here is saying one should turn, or the Rigpa should be turned in the between, or this between in this non-abiding stage. And it's a little bit difficult to say the between, or we can say until it's fine in this translation. So mainly the awareness should be rest or settled in this non-abiding state, not persevere until you bind in Rigpa. So, of course, in English, people often use you, I, they, we. First of all, a person cannot abide in a Rigpa. Do you remember that? our meditation is done through Rigpa, and Rigpa itself is a subject here. So it abides in, or the Jun. What we say, Jun is what? To tune. Yeah. In these non-abiding states. Not we. There's no person, yeah? Person is disappear long before we come to meditating. So those kind of translations we can see here, but we cannot do too much. This is people already familiarize a lot. And that is the middlings faculty who practice. If we cannot directly practice Mahamudra, then we can do some Zalung practice and other mind trainings and gazings. This helps to settle down our actual practice. And then, what do you think? The last one, what would be? We talk about the best one? We talk about the better one? The good ones. Yeah.
It's very generous.
Yeah. So the good ones, what the good ones practice in the Mahamudra tradition. When you rely on a concert, the wisdom of empty bliss will arise. To enter into union, the blessing or the method and the wisdom, bring it down slowly, hold it, reverse it, and draw it back up. Bring it to the place in the body, let it spread throughout. When you remain free of desire, the wisdom of empty bliss will appear. So this is a consort practice that if you are not good at the first direct meditation on Mahamudra, secondly, you are not successful through the channels and the bindus practice, and then the last option will be the consort practice. But that's what usually we cannot talk much. This is just advice for that. And then, of course, the monastic who has monastic vows cannot practice consort practice, but people who have last option would be this practice. So here, this is the last option, and then we are pretty much done with the practice. Before we go to the verse 28, if anyone has a question, or we just go to verse 28, what that would be.
There was someone on, a participant online had a question that they texted me.
Okay, can yes.
Says, so our dedication prayer says, may I achieve Mahamudra at the time of death or in the bardo. My question is, if we achieve Mahamudra at the time of death, is that the same thing as clear light meditation, or is it different from that?
Can you clarify a little bit what does clear light meditation mean? No, not you.
I think she's in the Gaylord.
No, I want to know what does clear light meditation mean. Can you?
What is clear light meditation?
Can you?
No.
Can you ask her?
It was my question, Kempo.
Do you
My
want
my understanding, clear light meditation is meditation at the end of life, at death, to achieve enlightenment at the end of life.
Clear light meditation. So, end of the death, clear lights appear, and you meditate on that. That's the clear light meditation.
I believe it's at the time of death, and then the advanced meditator goes into a very deep meditation where there is a clear light, and beyond, after the stages of dissolution, before consciousness leaves the body.
Yes, that's a similar idea. The clear light meditation is sometimes we know the clear light itself is a light, is sort of metaphor that the mind sort of become vivid again. So that's kind of clear light. And after that, we have sometimes talk about this. What do we call? After people die, we can still stay as look as alive. What we call? Yeah, tuk tams. That was tuk tam. What does tuk tam mean? Tuk tam means mental commitment. That means your commitment to stay as alive. And this meditation, whether our death appears in the Nyingma tradition, we have the Chunyi Pardo and so forth. This Chunyi Pardo is the death, and then we have slowly reconscious or come up this Dharmakaya and Sambhogakaya and Manakaya form. And Mahamudra is also similarly that. Yesterday or before we talk about this, our body and mind are somehow, it's a bondage that can obscure our mind or my nature. So once our body, when we die, separate mind and body, then our mind is much more freer. So we are not trapped in this, what we call, creepy flesh and bone, blood mainly. And so we are free. We don't need to care about this creepy body. So that's why it's much easier to become enlightened or attain enlightened. So that's why Mahamudra is that and the Pardo are very good for us to liberate ourselves. Similar idea, yes. clear light.
Thank you. Thank you, Kempo.
Oh, thank you. Okay, what would be the last one?
We're not going to have any gray hair.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Should have started this a lot sooner.
Oh, yeah. So the result of meditation. The main meditation is already we say that we become a Buddhahood, but then sometimes people like to hear become 10 years younger, 20 years younger, or 30 years younger. That's kind of want to hear because then people want to practice more. And do you remember all the advertisements on the TV? What they say? Is look 10 years younger. They never say you get 10 years younger. like a waxing moon, your life will be expand without graying hairs. That seems care about Delopa and Naropa since then, yeah. Is that not new things? You will have a radiant presence and the strength of a lion. I don't know why we need this strength. You will swiftly achieve the common attainment and enter the ultimate city. So ultimate city is Buddhahood. And these days we don't need lion strength, I think. So that is the main meditation, the end of the sort of the result of this meditation, Mahamudra. And then we have, do you remember very beginning, we have the begin, these texts have beginning and a middle and an end. So middle has 7, the beginning has title, and then sort of there's homage and so forth. Now we have the end of text. And this is more a dedication. May these essential advice on Mahamudra dwell within the hearts of the fortunate ones. So we are fortunate ones. This is stay in our heart as long as we are in a samsara. So that is the dedication. And then this is colophon. This is what the Siddha Tilopa said to Naropa on the bank of the river Ganges. May it be virtuous. So river Ganges is the famous river Ganges in India. Have you been there? No. If not, that's just another level of spiritual journey you can take there to see how they use this river Ganges by the Hindus, Buddhists, and all kind of religions. Yeah. So river Ganges is the famous river. So that is a kind of end, but of course you can expand based on these to meditate, study, and apply these every single line to your practice, or you take these as a daily practice, or you want to further explore, then there is tons of books on Mahamudra and so forth. So here, fortunately, Dripon, which is a blessing, we have this Mahamudra. I have chance to share with you, and Anila is treating us more than what we can ask, and good to have food and good place to stay and enjoy Buddhist teachings. So I think it's a really wonderful place to be. Somehow I didn't plan to teach this, but Drupal Rinpoche asked me to teach, so that's what I can offer. So if you have questions, we can go a little bit, few more, but if not, then we can chant our dedications, and we have then slowly need to stop here to see. Anything? Want to?
Gempola, could I ask a question, please?
Yes.
Yes. Would we be safer to assume that we are not a practitioner of the highest capacity, and that we are probably practitioners of at least middling capacity, and therefore should probably actually use the channels and the winds and the essences and work on those to support our Mahamudra practice?
Yes, probably, but sometimes it's Mahamudra is much simpler than those practices. Those practices need to learn from qualified teachers, and these days sometimes I'm not saying Mahamudra is taught by everyone is easy to access, but this sort of accidentally Drupal Rinpoche asked me, I'm kind of teaching words, not really can go deep meanings, but sometimes I think even we can try if we may not get 100% what in here, so we can familiarize that. I'm saying 6 narrow yogas of Naropas is maybe sometimes easy, but sometimes more difficult to obtain or study from a qualified teacher. So for sure we can do all sort of practice that support our meditation, Mahamudra or any other meditation, but sometimes we can try, I think, Mahamudra itself. So it's sometimes quite simple.
I have a follow-up question to Simon's question.
Yes.
I'm wondering about you said a moment ago that the consort practice is not appropriate for the monastics. But I'm wondering, what about the wisdom consort practice? Is that not all right? And isn't that different from this actual physical consort?
I think one book that His Holiness Chetsang Rinpoche wrote commentary on these texts, and he clarifies there monastics. I meant the consort practices, not the actual consort practice, but I didn't mean that you can not practice consort practice with visualization. So it's more the actual consort practice is not suitable for monastics. I think that's what mentioned in His Holiness Chetsang Rinpoche's book. If you have that book, maybe can read that. He clarifies a little bit in there. In English. His book is in English. maybe that's our last question, and then we can dedicate a little bit longer what we have in our text. And then, anyway, thank you very much, everyone here and there, beyond, and the whole world. So sometimes we can appreciate this setting and this place, and the people support us. It's important that have a Dharma center which accepting and offering to everyone without discrimination. And also that is founder's vision, and people who kind of maintaining this center, and that's a sort of role model and a very important part, and that also need support. So if here or online people can support financially or voluntarily, or anything that can support maintaining this center would be very helpful for every one of us, and we want to maintain this center as vibrant as possible and welcome as possible, so we can people who here already feel that how good it is, and maybe next time online people may want to come here to check what it is, and so that's why everyone I'm encouraged to support this center. So, and then we dedicate our virtue to the close families and animals, and then more beyond our family, that all sentient beings and so forth. So then mainly world peace and so forth. So it's good to dedicate our virtue to everyone. We don't keep our virtue for ourselves, yeah, that's kind of selfish, so we dedicate now.
And thank you so very much for coming to Chicago Ratnashri again. Thank you for leading us and teaching us, and your patience, and meeting all of us on the different levels where we're at. And thank you for teaching us this Ganges Mahamudra that Drupalnath has requested, such an important text for the Drikung practitioners. Even though it may not be your favorite one to teach, like Choyingzi, we really appreciate it, and you really illuminated a lot for us. Thank you so very much, and please come again and again to Chicago Ratnashri. We really appreciate your teachings. Thank you.
Thank you. And yeah, my favorite text is Choyingzi. Okay. Maybe Jikten Songkun and slowly in English.
Page 13. Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind root and lineage lamas, divine assembly of Yidams and assemblies of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, heroes and heroines, Yogini and assembly of Dakinis dwelling in the tender actions, please heed me. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may I benefit all sentient beings through my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of desire, hatred, ignorance, pride, and jealousy not arise within my mind. May thoughts of fame, reputation, wealth, honor, and concern for this life not arise for even a moment. May my mind stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta. and through that may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinity of space. May I gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. Even at death, may the torment of suffering not arise. May I not die with negative thoughts. May I not die confused by wrong view. May I not experience an untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of the mind as such, and in the pervasive clarity of Dharmata. May I, in any case, gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra at the time of death or in the bardo. By this merit, may I attain omniscience. Having defeated the enemies, my wrongdoings, may I liberate all beings who are tossed in the ocean of samsara by the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death. Precious, glorious root guru, seated on a lotus at my heart, hold me with kindness and bestow accomplishments of body, speech, and mind. I pray for the excellent health of the guru. I pray that the Guru lives a supremely long life. I pray that the Guru's activities spread far and wide. Grant blessings that I may not be separate from my Guru. May every sick individual be quickly cured of disease. May all illness, without exception, never occur under any circumstance. By the force of this powerful merit, may the aspirations of the benefactors and their circles be accomplished within this very life. May all obstacles be pacified. May everything be auspicious. And may their wishes be fulfilled according to the Dharma. Through this virtue, may all sentient beings in the three realms and all the deceased who wander in the bardo abandon taking birth in evil states and attain the happiness of higher birth. Just as the hero Manjushri realized things as they are, so too did Samantabhadra. I will follow in their path by perfectly dedicating all these virtues. Since all such dedications have been praised as supreme by the Buddhas of the three times, I perfectly dedicate all my roots of virtue toward excellent conduct. By the blessings of the Buddhas who attain the three kayas, by the blessings of the truth of the unchanging Dharmata, and by the blessings of the undivided Sangha order, may my aspirations be fulfilled according to this dedication. By the power of the three jewels truth, by the blessings of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, by the power of having fully perfected the two accumulations, and by the pure and inconceivable nature of the Dharmadhatu, may these prayers be fulfilled accordingly. By the virtues collected in the three times by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, precious, perfectly complete awakening. Through the authentic blessings of the Kagyu lineage masters, the three jewels, Yidam deities, Dakinis, and Dharma protectors, may the Dharma kingdom of the second Nagarjuna grow, its monasteries and holy places thrive. May all conflict and malice dissolve, and may auspiciousness, goodness, and abundance prevail.
For this
realm, encircled by snow-covered mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness without exception. Tenzin Gyatso, Lord Chenrezig, may your life remain steadfast until the end of samsara. Embodiment of the three precious jewels, Padmapani, who holds the teachings of the victorious one, seeing the all-goodness meeting with the wisdom eye, may you who are spontaneously established activities live long for hundreds of kalpas. Noble Manjushri, the Lord of Speech, who manifests to hold the teachings of the Triple Gem, who raises the lamp of the sage's teachings, may you who are the light of the Dharma live long for hundreds of kalpas. Known in the noble land as Aryadeva, You emanated into the Gar clan of eastern Tibet as Zodingba, the heart son of Jigten Goho. May the life of glorious Garchen remain steadfast for 100 aeons. You who are richly endowed with the glorious wealth of Dharma knowledge, who through reflecting and meditating have actualized the self-aware absolute reality and shine with 100,000 light rays of ethical discipline of the Buddha Dharma. May you, Kenshin Ratna Sala, live long. May the teaching of the great Drikungpa Ratna Shri, Master of Inner Dependence, Omniscient Lord of Dharma, who has seen all noble things, be upheld through teachings and practice, through hearing, reflecting, and meditating until the end of existence.
Okay, thank you so much.
Oh yeah, we have Kimpola's long life prayer.
Oh, there's such things.
Yeah. Kirme Lodra. Oh. Kirme Lodra Gyatsoken. Doktar Don Shempeto Yeshi Chenle Tamepe Session Lama Kutseten Gurmelo Drogyatsokin Togdrarik Dong Jempeto Yeshitran Letamepe Session Lama Kutseten Yirme Lodro Gyatso Heed. No thought, bare, empty, rig heart, boundless, noble wisdom deeds. Most dear Lama, remain, long remain.
Wow.
Thank you, Kampola.
Thank you, Kimberly Saga.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gracias.
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 Nos contestaron. Nos vemos, Sofi.
Hasta luego, Sofi.
Gracias.
Can you
Gracias,
say one more? Can you say one more?
We're saying thank you to the translators, to Anna Sophia and to Daniel. Thank you, Danielle. And then the other translators, maybe Rocco will translate later, and maybe Sasha for Russian. So thank you to our translators. And thank you, Kempola, for doing in English so nicely.
Thank you, Wang Mo, for Amze.
going to be here?
California,
Yes.
Oh, I may not be there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hope to see you again in good health soon.
Yes.
Thank you.